Welcome to the Creative Force Podcast, a podcast all about empowering you to live in your God-given identity and go after the dreams in your heart. I'm your host, Sharon Stark, and every week we'll be having powerful conversations that will combine practical and biblical wisdom for living your purpose. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to episode 1 of the Creative Force Podcast. I'm Sharon, and I'm so excited to be talking to you. Do you have a desire to make a difference in this world? Do you know you were made to do something vital and important, but feel stuck on where to start? Are you lacking direction on your next steps? Or maybe you know exactly what you were supposed to be doing, but you're just too scared to make a change. If so, you are not alone. I can relate to all of these questions. In my own life, I've had to navigate a lot of moments of really big, scary change. Right out of high school, I moved across the country and I went to Youth with a Mission. And then later, I was studying for my master's degree, and I gave that up because I felt like God was telling me to go to Bible college, which I did. And then later, I quit a very secure and great job to go into a new job arena. And even recently, I've taken a step of faith into freelancing. And in all of these moments in my life, God has really shown himself to be faithful. And I know that he wants to do the same for you. I'm sure I'll go into more depth in my personal story in later episodes. But for this first intro episode, I just really wanted to share with you the heart behind this podcast and how it got its name. Several years ago, I was just getting ready one morning and God spoke to me that I am a creative force. And I believe that this was a word not just for me, but also for you as well. The definition of creative is marked by the ability or power to create. And it's actually connected to the Latin word creare, which means to give birth to. God has placed within us this innate ability to turn our thoughts and imaginations into something real and to give birth to something in this world that previously did not exist. And then the definition of force is an individual having the power of effective action. So you have the power to take action on your dreams today. And that is what a creative force is. It's who you are. You are uniquely designed and you're full of original ideas. And you're here on earth for this specific time to make a positive difference in this world. And that's exactly who God made you to be. In the Bible, we see in Genesis 1:1, the very first verse, it says, God created. And I just love that because God is a creator and we're made in his image, so we are creators too. You're an innovator and a visionary, and you have creative solutions for this world. You have something unique to offer, and it is needed. And it has nothing to do with your performance. So many times I know that we feel that way. It has nothing to do with our feelings about ourselves or even just how others can think about us. And I want to just go ahead and share this other story in the Bible that I really think demonstrates how important is what we have to offer. It is in John 6, and it's a story, the story of the little boy with 5 loaves and 2 fish. And so if you grew up in church, you're probably familiar with this story. Jesus, he's teaching a super large crowd, and they get hungry, and there's no food around in the area. And so the disciples are worried. They're like, what are we going to do? How are we going to feed these people? And then one boy chooses to offer what he has. John 6, 8-9, it says, another of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, spoke up. Here is a boy with 5 small barley loaves and 2 small fish, but how far will they go among so many? You know, the little boy could have had that same thought, like, how far is this going to go? And he could have thought that what he had was not enough. And he could have been afraid to offer it. And we too can have those same thoughts. We can think, well, what if this isn't good enough? What if what I have to offer doesn't really make a difference? And we can end up listening to that voice in our head. And if we do, what we end up doing is we end up hiding. So this boy, he chose not to hide. Instead of looking at what he didn't have, he looked at what he did have. And so Jesus takes what this little boy offers and he multiplies it. Everyone has more than enough. There's an abundance left over. And that is exactly what God can do with us. If we offer like what we have to God, he can take that and then he can partner with us and he can make it so much more. 5,000 people that day, they were positively impacted because of one boy who was willing to give what he had to offer. And there are people whose lives are going to be changed when you bring what you have to offer to the table. And that's really the purpose behind this podcast. It's just to encourage you to be bold and pursue those dreams that God has placed in your heart, and also to provide practical and biblical wisdom to help you do that. Every episode, I'm going to be having really insightful conversations with incredible women who've already walked this path, embracing their identity and pursuing their dreams. And we're going to address the doubts and fears that may arise. And we're going to uncover tools and strategies to help you walk confidently in the direction of your dreams. If you are ready to step out of your comfort zone and leave fear behind and embark on a journey of purpose and fulfillment, then you are in the right place. Get ready to be inspired, encouraged, and equipped to live as the creative force that God has designed you to be. The show notes for today's episode are available on my blog at yourcreativeforce.com, as well as other resources and inspiration to go after your dreams.